Okay, let's switch gears here. New Hampshire's GOP primary next week, increasingly being viewed as a two-person race between President Trump and Nikki Haley as they hit the campaign trail. Take a listen.
People behind Nikki Haley are pro-amnesty, they're pro-China, they're pro-open borders. These are the people that are backing her. They're pro-war. We don't want war. We got out of all the wars. We beat the hell out of ISIS.
70% of Americans have said they don't want to see another Trump-Biden rematch. The majority of Americans think that having two 80-year-olds running for president is not what they want.
Yeah, so for more on this one, let's bring in Executive Director of the New Hampshire Institute of Politics, Neil Levesque. Neil, thanks for being with us this morning. I just wanted to start off, with you explaining something. To me, also the people at home, the Iowa caucuses were obviously held this week, Trump winning by a huge margin as expected. But DeSantis did come in second, so why is this now being seen as a Trump-Haley matchup? And are voters in New Hampshire feeling that way, too?
Well, you're right. DeSantis came in second, and Haley's attempt right now to make it a two-person race clearly is to her benefit. If she can be a contrast to Trump, that's what she wants to have for her theme. I think the former president is correct in some of what he mentioned on that clip you just showed, that she's looking for votes outside necessarily the core Republican Party. And the reason she's doing that is she has to. Despite some narratives that are going around in the country, Trump really dominates the Republican Party. We've never seen a poll where he's wavered. He's been solid as a rock right through this whole thing. And in the Iowa results, if they reflect anything, show that he continues to be the choice of Republican Party voters. And a lot of people would like to not see that or change that narrative to see a race. And it's tough to do that when voters have made up their minds to some degree that Trump should be the nominee.
Yeah. And, speaking of polling, I wanted to just bring up some polling averages, that show the former president now leading Haley by just 8 points in New Hampshire. That's dropping from a 27-point lead just a month ago. And also an outlier poll of sorts from the American Research Group shows President Trump and Haley tied. Neil, how do you see, realistically, how do you see this race playing out in your state when the primary's held?
I think our own polling shows about a 14-point lead for Donald Trump. I think he's going to receive over 50% of the votes. I may be an outlier on that. I think, again, he dominates not only Republicans, but a lot of undeclareds that may decide to vote here in New Hampshire. And there's a reason for it, is that he's conveying the fact that there are things they don't like about the Biden administration and things that are going on in America. And Trump clearly articulates the contrast to that. And despite what Nikki Haley's been trying to do here in the state, and she's been working hard to some degree, I don't think necessarily she's been able to get that core group of Republican voters. And the enthusiasm gap is not there as it is with Donald Trump. People are very enthusiastic to vote for Donald Trump. We saw that in Iowa. And again, that enthusiasm gap sort of lacks. It's whether or not they're voting for Haley because they like her or they're voting for Haley because she's not Trump. That's a big question.
Yeah, and you brought up, Pat, that Nikki Haley has been working hard. She has been working hard. She blanketed Iowa with ads and dollars. But I did want to take your pulse on the fact that ABC News just canceled Thursday's GOP debate. Nikki Haley refusing to show up if President Trump is not showing up. How do you see the resistance there going over with New Hampshire voters? I mean, it's obviously he's so far ahead. You can argue whether that's even a good look for him or not. But is it also a good look for her, who is behind? She needs that voter support. Did voters take to that kindly, that neither of them are going to come?
It's widely viewed that she made a critical mistake yesterday by not going on our local and only television station here in New Hampshire for a debate. It's our station here, WMUR, is sort of like apple pie. Mm-hmm. And she had the opportunity on Thursday night to go 90 minutes and convey her message. And instead, she's going to avoid that. And I don't know what other sort of major pivot points she's going to be able to find to really articulate her message between now and Tuesday, other than paid media. And paid media in New Hampshire is very saturated, and it's not necessarily something you want to bank your campaign on.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.